So on behalf of President Sam Stanley, I would like to welcome Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Congressman Bishop, Assemblyman Steve Englebright, Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone, to Stony Brook University's Long Island High Technology Incubator. I would also like to welcome Mark LIHTI, right there, Executive Director of Long Island Angel Network. President Stanley cannot be with us today because he's traveling overseas on behalf of the university, but he asked that I extend his warmest wishes and appreciation to our elected officials for their continued efforts to expand economic development opportunities for Long Island and the state through their support of the America Innovates Act. Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Bishop, we are honored that you have chosen to be here for this announcement, because Stony Brook University has been working very hard to foster one of the most accomplished economic development programs in the nation and continues to assist hundreds of researchers, entrepreneurs, and startup companies of all sizes and stages of growth. It is the collaboration of researchers and entrepreneurs that helps to bring discoveries into the marketplace. And as a result, while creating jobs, we also improve mankind's quality of life throughout the whole world. In addition to the Long Island High Technology Incubator, since 1983, Stony Brook University has continued to advance local economic growth through its development of the Center for Biotechnology, the New York State Center for Advanced Technology, the Advanced Energy Research and Technology Center, and the Center for Wireless Information Technology, just to name a few. We also have the incubator at Calverton, which reflects the traditional strengths of the east end of Long Island and focuses on the nurturing the development of new agriculture, aquaculture, and environmental technologies. We also collaborate daily with our partners on Long Island, Brookhaven National Laboratory and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, and our business partner, Accelerate Long Island, to advance local economic development. We regularly communicate with venture capital groups, such as the Long Island Angel Network, to make sure that investors are informed of our current and prospective technology breakthroughs that will be ready for the marketplace. Stony Brook University is very proud that we're helping to make Long Island and New York State a pivotal landmark in the advancement of research, commercialization, and economic development. And of course, without the support of our elected officials, we would not have the government backing to make any of these programs successful, not alone possible. Be they federal, state, or local elected officials like Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Bishop remain up to date of our progress so they can recognize opportunities like the America Innovates Act that will help provide not only Stony Brook, but many other higher education institutions, innovators, and private companies with resources needed to turn discoveries into products. It is commonly known among researchers that crossing the distance between discovery and business is like crossing the valley of death. Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Bishop, through the American Innovates Act, you have helped us to build a needed bridge across this valley. It's now my pleasure to welcome United States Senator Kirsten Gillibrand.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Doctor, for your introduction and for your leadership. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank Congressman Bishop for his friendship, for his unwavering support for Long Island businesses and Long Island families. He makes such a difference in his advocacy in Washington every single day. I want to recognize the Suffolk County Executive, Steve Bellone, who's not only been a friend, but a great leader for this wonderful county and for the work he does in creating opportunities for small business to help our economy grow. I want to thank Dr. Yacov Shamash for his amazing leadership and all the work he does to bring businesses here and to continue to help grow them on Long Island. I also want to recognize the Vice President for Economic Development and Dean of the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, Stony Brook, and Dr. Hsiao, who's the Vice President for Research, for being here. Thank you. Where'd you go? Thank you very much, Doctor, for your work. Obviously, when I travel all across New York, I get to see some of the most amazing work that's being done around our state. And I can tell you that the work being done in some of our research labs in our colleges and universities is incredibly inspiring, including the work that's being done right here at Stony Brook's high-tech incubator. I see young people bring ideas to fruition to create new products, new strategies, and grow their markets. The business ideas we've just seen behind us are incredible and are really meeting the needs of the private sector, which is extraordinarily important in how we create a growing economy. We have so much work being done here that go to the heart of the future. We have scientists figuring out how to cure some of the most uncurable diseases. We have technology being developed about how to power our homes, our businesses, to store energy more efficiently. We have the kind of innovative research that will be able to free us from our dependence on foreign oil. We have companies in this room today, such as Applied DNA Sciences, which has developed a way to use DNA to fight counterfeiting, and Intrigma, did I say that right? Is that how you say it? Intrigma, which is a startup that has created software to make healthcare administration more efficient so that we can actually make sure more patients are being seen, that doctors' offices can work better and more effectively. In addition to Stony Brook, Long Island's research institutions such as the Brookhaven National Laboratory and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory and the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research produce incredible results that are truly leading the way to the high-tech jobs and businesses for our future. When I see this much talent, innovation, and vision, I know that we will have a thriving economy, not just here on Long Island, but all across our country. Over the past 10 years, this incubator has helped to launch innovative companies on Long Island, creating hundreds of jobs and fueling our region's economy. This innovative hub has successfully developed concepts into companies, such as Codagenics, a biotech startup that develops computer-generated viruses which drug makers can use to produce vaccines, which recently won a federal grant to continue their work. We must continue to provide Codagenics, along with the world's brightest minds here at this incubator and other Long Island research facilities, the tools and the policies that they need to succeed. These are several great initiatives on Long Island that have focused on commercializing local research, such as Accelerate Long Island. Many of our universities and research institutions across the nation lack the resources to help turn their scientific breakthroughs and business opportunities into the kind of ideas and jobs that can be bore out through their fruition. It's clear that we need to be doing more to bridge the disconnect and provide our scientists with the business skills and the funding that they need to get these great ideas off the ground. So today I'm introducing legislation that would spur the growth of new science and technology jobs on Long Island and across the country. Now, this legislation is called the American Innovates Act, and it basically creates an American Innovation Bank, which is aimed to help universities and research institutions turn these scientific ideas into commercial products that can attract private investment and create jobs. Under this grant pool, universities would be able to create or strengthen what's called the proof of concept, which helps researchers prove that their initial discoveries can be practically and concretely used. Some examples of how funding can be used include testing products in an industry setting, hiring additional staff for specific experiments, and accessing experts in business development, patent, and regulatory law. Federal investment would also help universities expand laboratory space, including incubators for startups, and build commercial space tech hubs throughout Long Island and across New York. To help grow the next generation of innovation leaders, this legislation would provide critical training for highly skilled graduate students in science and bring industry into the classroom. Graduate students would have access to training in areas such as intellectual property protection, as well as commercialization and product development. This would expand existing science fellowship programs, many of which Stony Brook already participates in, and encourage universities to develop professional science master's programs. High-tech innovation is the future of the U.S. economy. And Stony Brook is helping pave the way towards growing Long Island's tech sector and fueling our region's economy. We have to give our scientists, our students, our researchers the tools they need to realize the vision they have and create the next generation of businesses for tomorrow. Now I'm turning it back to Dr. Hsiao.
Thank you, Senator Gillibrand. The next speaker will be our good friend, Congressman Bishop.
Thank you very, very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to be on this campus, and delighted to be joined by my friend Senator Gillibrand, and I want to thank her for her leadership on this issue as well as so many other issues that are of great importance to our country and to higher education. I'm very proud to represent this wonderful institution. I'm also very proud to represent Brookhaven National Lab. So I have the great good fortune of having in my district two of the finest research institutions in the country. And in Stony Brook University, we also have the largest employer in the 1st Congressional District of the state of New York. So leaving aside any other consideration, Stony Brook University is really important. And this legislation will help raise the level by which Stony Brook can contribute to economic growth here on Long Island and all over the country, and also the extent to which it can continue to advance knowledge and move us forward in so many different areas. The House version of the legislation that Senator Gillibrand has introduced has been introduced by Rush Holt, a physicist who was on the faculty at Princeton. I have joined Rush as a co-sponsor of this legislation, and we will work very, very hard to try to get this moved through the House of Representatives, because what it does is it takes the startup, it takes the genius, and it provides the link between what happens in the laboratory, what happens at the workbench, and how we get that idea, that genius to market. The Incubator has done a fabulous job of doing that over these last several decades, but this is a mechanism by which the work that the Incubator does, and incubators all over this country, can become even more effective and even more impactful. So I am delighted to join Senator Gillibrand in this effort. I thank her for her leadership, and I again want to thank the good people of Stony Brook University for all of that they contribute to our region and to our country. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Congressman Bishop. Our next speaker is really no stranger to bring the Stony Brook research into the marketplace. That's Dr. Yacov Shamash, the Vice President of Economic Development, also the Dean of the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Yacov.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, Ben, and especially thank you to our good friends, Senator Gillibrand, Congressman Bishop, and Steve Bellone, Steve Englebright. We've all worked together before, and thank you for all the help you've given us over the years. So I also want to welcome everyone here who's from the Stony Brook Incubator, too. This facility is a 67,000 square foot expression of commitment to the future of Long Island's economy. Entrepreneurs come here for the same purpose that you have come here, to innovate America. The people in this room and in incubators like this throughout the nation are very courageous people, and I'll tell you why. First, second, I'm sure they'll be able to tell you why too. They had the courage to dream about something that can do anything from saving lives or making the world a better place. They worked from scratch. They failed. I'm looking at Ruben. I'm not looking at you, Ruben. I'm just saying. Time and again, for a lot of them. But they learned from those failures or mistakes, and they kept on at it, and they finally succeed. Let me give you some specific examples of how these companies are creating jobs and economic development. First, at the Calverton Incubator, we have 8 companies with 25 employees. At Seawit, the Wireless Center, we have an incubator that has 9 companies with about 47 employees and 45 graduate students working for them. So it's about 90 employees. And here at the Long Island High-Tech Incubator, I think at any one time just recently we counted, we had 128 employees. And the number of the companies you see here, let me just mention a few words about each. XSB, Rupert Hopkins there. In just 6 years, they spent 6 years here, and now they've graduated. They now have $4 million in revenues and employ 25 people. Applied DNA, Vanessa is over there. In just the first 6 months of fiscal year 2012, they reported earnings of over $1 million. They have 24 employees, and they have been a tenant here for just about 6 years. Intrigma, they have 5 full-time employees and 15 part-time, and a tenant of our incubators for about 7 years. I should say that Tal was a student at Stony Brook, and he had a business plan. He won the best award and essentially started up his company. Mesoscribe Technologies, back there, Jeff Brogan right here. Jeff was a PhD graduate of Stony Brook. Professor Sampath was his advisor at the time. And they developed a company that now has a $3.1 million in revenues, 16 employees, and they were here for 6 years and have moved out and have graduated and creating additional jobs. And finally, Reliacoat, which is started up by Dr. Sanjay Sampath, a professor at Stony Brook, and they have $400,000 in revenues and a total of 8 employees, and they've already graduated from the incubator after spending 2 years. So Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Bishop, this is why I'm very excited to see legislation like the America Innovation Act put forth. There are many other researchers, and entrepreneurs that can develop new technologies and create jobs like the companies I just mentioned. The American Innovation Act can help put funding and industry training into more hands of our state and nation's brightest visionaries at higher education institutions like Stony Brook University. Thank you very much for your leadership.
Okay, thank you, Yacov. Next, I would like to invite to the podium Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone. Steve.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hsiao. It is an honor to be here today with Senator Gillibrand, and I want to thank her for her leadership, her national leadership on this issue. In order for our nation to grow our economy and to continue global leadership, without question, we need to be the leader in innovation. And I want to thank Senator Gillibrand for this very important piece of legislation, and certainly my colleague, Congressman Bishop, who very clearly understands the importance of higher education. He's dedicated his life to it. This is very important for our future of our country and here locally. And I'm here to say, and I also want to thank my good friend Assemblyman Englebright. We rolled out our economic development plan last week, and I thanked him and his colleagues at the state level for the work that they've done to support Stony Brook University here. It has been very important, and they're helping to lay the foundation for an innovation economy here because of that support. We are committed at the local level, Senator, to working with you and Congressman Bishop and our partners at the state to build an innovation economy here in Suffolk County. When I first came in office and I talked with officials here at Stony Brook University, including Dr. Stanley, I said, how much planning have you done together with Suffolk County? And the answer was none. Well, that is over now. Our planning in Suffolk County is now based upon and builds upon what is happening here at Stony Brook University. And we need, in order to build this innovation economy, we need a partner at the local level who understands that these startup companies, in order for them to thrive, as they emerge from these incubation sites. We need to build affordable quality rental housing for young people so we can keep people here. We need to build vibrant places, and we need to build a 21st century transportation infrastructure here in Suffolk County that will allow us to grow the economy without simply adding more cars to the roadway. We are a committed partner to working with you, Senator, and Congressman Bishop, and our colleagues at the state, and all of you here at Stony Brook University to create and develop this innovation economy. Thank you very much.
So that concludes our scheduled speakers. I would like to invite Senator back to the podium and answer reporters' questions. Senator?
Any on-topic questions? Okay, we'll do one-on-one. Oh, on topic? Go ahead.
Can you tell us a little more about the bank? How much money would be there and where would it come from?
Well, the goal, it would be a $250 million commitment per year, and the goal would be to provide grants up to $5 million each. And both private sector and not-for-profits could apply for these grants. This incubator could apply for a grant, for example. We're targeting specific industries. We're targeting innovation industries, green technology industries, DoD industries, agricultural research, anything that's focused on high-tech, biotech, nanotech, and new emerging markets. And so it would work really well because when every dollar you put into an incubator, you get about $30 out in local revenues, according to the National Business Incubator Association. Also, for every $10,000 you invested in a business incubator, it has the potential to create up to nearly 70 new local jobs. And that's estimated by the Economic Development Administration. So there's a lot of return on your investment in incubators particularly. And so this bill is designed to take advantage of that.
And can you give us a sense of how this differs from the SBIR program and some other federal programs that are out there that provide money for startups?
They're very similar, and this is just one that's particularly targeted at incubators, because what we found is that in this setting, and the businesses that you've just shown as examples, in a setting you can have collaboration. There's experts on hand who help you with your business plans. There's experts who can help you get access to capital, and that type of environment is very productive. And so that's why we thought this is a good enhancement to what's already being done by the Small Business Administration.
So this would only be for companies in incubators?
It's for incubators, but it can go to both not-for-profits and private sector businesses. It can go to universities who are focused on this type of incubating. It doesn't have to be an incubator specifically, but that's the goal, is to bring the new businesses to fruition and actually target this proof of concept gap. Because what a lot of small businesses will say, I can't get a loan, I can't qualify for an SBA grant or loan because I haven't proved that my research idea is actually going to be successful. And so this is almost that gap funding that institutions like Stony Brook really need to bring a student in early on who's got a great idea, an interesting business plan, but has to actually prove the concept to be able to get later on funding. And so it's targeted specifically at this gap that research institutions specifically need the help most.
And does either bill have Republican support at all at this point?
Not yet. It's been sent to the Commerce Committee, so it's already in the Commerce Committee, and we hope to get some movement on it this year. Right now, it's Sherrod Brown and Senator Lautenberg who are co-sponsors. Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.